Recently I've been starting to think about getting a new camera bag as I've outgrown my current one. Now, given that it's quite an expensive minefield trying to look for a new camera bag, I thought instead of trying to look one that's already pre-made, what if I could build one? And that's exactly what we're going to try and do today. So what sort of thing are we looking for in this perfect bag? Well, the first thing we want to consider is, of course, cost. Now, what I wanted to try and do was to try and make the final bag cheaper than what a second-hand bag would have been. Now, looking through eBay and what I'd previously paid for, I reckon this was about 40 to 50 pounds. So we're going to say that the final budget for this entire project has to be about 50 quid. Now, the next most important thing, of course, is the size of the bag. Now, given that wildlife photography equipment is quite big, ultimately we're going to need quite a big bag to accommodate all this additional gear. This is my main camera setup. It's the Sony a7 III and the Sigma 150-600. Although when I'm out shooting, I also like to bring along the second a7 III that I'm shooting on right now, a 24-70. So this camera bag is going to have to try and accommodate both of these camera bodies and both of these lenses, as well as some of the other accessories that I might want to bring along in the day, such as microphones. I've started off by looking at which bag I thought would be best and settled on this one right here. This bag right here I picked up from Amazon for about 20 quid. I'll put what the brand is down here and all the links to all of it down below if you're interested. Now, just looking at the specs of this thing online, this bag has immediately got some benefits that the other bags don't have. First of which is its size. This bag is about 5 to 10 centimeters bigger in every dimension than the previous two bags. If we look at them side by side, you can see just how much bigger this bag is as well. But also, if you look at how this is shaped, this is just a rectangle, right? Whereas if we compare that to, say, the Low Pro, this sloping top, so you're actually losing a bit of height because you need to be streamlined or something. I don't care what the bag looks like. You're just losing a lot of space up here, which I've never really understood. Now, one thing I looked at in terms of picking what bag might be suitable for being a better camera bag is how the zip lies. Some bags you'll see, which are not camera bags, have a zip which ends with this pocket, so it doesn't go all the way down. Now, obviously the issue here is that when you're trying to access your camera bag, you can only get half of the bag. And this is actually a feature you'll see on some other camera bags as well. For example, on the Low Pro, it's got a back access zip, which is great in terms of security. However, it does lead you with this little lip at the back, and it just makes access a little bit harder. Whereas if we compare that to a camera bag like the Think Tank, where the access pocket is able to fully open, you've got full access to everything inside, making it far easier to get things in and out. And this is something that I wanted to try and find when picking the best bag. So you'll see on the bag that I've picked at the end, obviously we've got full access to the main compartment. So we have really great access to the gear inside. Not only that, but being a military bag, I don't know how military it is because it's from Amazon, but there's an absolute wealth of different pockets that we potentially have access to, maybe storing microphones or whatever it happens to be. There's additional pockets on the front if I wanted to travel with this, for example. But most importantly, now we need to work out how to store our camera equipment in this main pocket. And so the next thing I want to talk about when it comes to my ideal camera bag would be stability or strength. Basically, we want to make sure that our gear is well protected and it's not going to be moving around. So for this, what we're going to use is a divider system. So for this, I bought lots of foam, and we're going to composite this along with this plastic tubing. What this is, if you can see inside, is it's corrugated plastic. So the idea being here, we're going to have foam either side of this plastic, and that's going to help form little dividers inside of the bag. Now, I had no idea how much plastic I might need, so this is absolutely massive, and I thought it was absolutely hilarious when it came through the delivery. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to measure everything up and make all these dividers, and then show you how I'm going to put it all together. And so this is how the dividers have ended up. It's essentially a piece of plastic in the middle with two pieces of foam either side. Initially, what I wanted to do was I wanted to try and copy the Trek Pack system by using the corrugated plastic and then using clips to hold these together. This, in the context of Pelican boxes, is really great because you're not moving them around as much as you are with wildlife photography bags. However, as soon as I tried it in the wildlife photography bag, it came apart, so we're going to need a better solution for this. Now, not only will this be used for the dividers, but it will also be used to give stability to our bag generally. So what you can see I've done here is I've essentially made a shell. So I've got dividers on each side of the bag, and then a divider, a rather large divider, on the back. I'm using divider just to describe the same material that I spoke about earlier. Obviously these are not dividing anything, but essentially this is giving our bag its structure. You'll see it's now not flapping around, it's going to be continually up like this. The way I've been able to keep each one of these dividers in place and all the sides permanently up is that each of these dividers is held in place by Velcro. I'd really recommend when you are doing this, hold it really taut and then put your dividers in, and it gives this bag a really nice structure and shape. Now this is the same sort of thing that we'd see on a normal bag. You have this same sort of structure where you have panels all the way around and then a big gap down the middle. And then we have pockets at the front, which is nice. But what I was thinking when I was driving home from Hobbycraft today is that this potentially might come in some impact. You might put it down the floor, you might accidentally drop it, anything like this. Obviously, if you're pretty careful with your bag, it's not very likely, but it's possible. However, what I was thinking with my bag is there's actually a second layer to this bag, and because it's just our simple square shape, if I undo this, there we go, got there in the end. I've got a master's degree, couldn't open the bag. This essentially is the same size as the one below it, and what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to make another one of these back panels, and I'm going to put that in here, just as an extra layer of support. Maybe it's sort of overthinking it, but it means I can still get complete access to the bag, as I usually would, but I'm getting that extra support that I wouldn't be getting on my normal bags. Just a bit of peace of mind, I guess, which is kind of cool. And it shouldn't impact on the actual operation of the bag at all, which is a really nice bonus. So now I have my divider system. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach Velcro to either side of each one of these dividers, and I'm going to Velcro them to the entirety of my wall. I'm going to Velcro all the way around in using the sort of soft side of the Velcro on the outside, and then the fuzzy grippy side on each one of these dividers, just so it's not rubbing against any of my gear. It just means I can change these dividers at any point down the line if I get different gear, carry different equipment, anything like that. It's a bit more versatile. Right, let's go give it a go. That's one. What I might do as well, because obviously I've got this sticky end bit, because it's self-adhesive already, is I'm going to grab another little extra bit of plastic and I'm going to stick that on this sticky side, and essentially it's going to form like a flap, which shouldn't matter. It just means it's not going to stick to anything in the bag, because ultimately I want it to go back like this and then it will just stick onto the side of the bag. Yeah, perfect. Just need to cut up an extra bit out. Cool. So that's the first one done. That will go in here. So now we've just got to repeat that process for however many dividers we want. For me, I think I'm going to do probably one more on either side to have the camera body and the camera lens on each side, and then have a extra little pocket at the top for whatever it happens to be. But that seems pretty rigid. But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of this soft Velcro onto this middle vertical stripe, and if I do it again, any of the other vertical stripes, so that the horizontal dividers have something to stick to in the middle, so they're not just flapping around. Yeah, cool, let's do that as well. Right, so that is the dividers now in, like this. Something fell off the desk. But yeah, I am genuinely really pleased with this. Considering I'm not like an artsy crafty person, I've genuinely really enjoyed making this. I really hope you've got a lot out of it. And if you have any, thoughts of things I should add or build to it, I'd love to hear it genuinely down in the comments. Or if you're going to build your own, let me know. Final thing that I want to do, obviously, is test it out. Okay, so out and about. Been going for a couple of minutes now. Bag is dead comfy, which is lovely. And I'll tell you what, the park is looking amazing. Down here through the beautiful park, absolutely stunning. Before we reach the deer, which are rutting at the moment. I can hear them from here. It's absolutely a fantastic sound. So I brought the microphones along, I brought the cameras along. That's what we're going to go and shoot. Yeah, let's go. Right, so we've been going for about 20 minutes now. There's not a whole lot of wildlife around, which is interesting. It's one of the many reasons I'm not a big fan of deer parks, but there you go. Let's see how the bag held up, shall we? Hey, there we go. That's pretty cool. So we've got both my 600mm and my 24-70, both my camera bodies loaded. I threw in my 70-180 because why not? And there's a big old bunch of space here. Got my microphones. And all in all, it looks like the bag has held up pretty well. There's a bit of, you know, rough around the edges, I'm not going to lie. That needs to be done. This is basically because I had to remake this middle divider. It simply wasn't long enough, so I've made this far too long now, which I think actually works quite well because it gives it a bit of flexibility, I guess. But when I get back home now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to re-tape this up and just tidy this up. But that's absolutely fine. It's held in place really, really well. Right, so just a little update of how I've potentially fixed that problem. What I'm doing at the moment is I've just duct taped either side. Because we're not using that Trek Pack system anymore, I can essentially attach this foam all the way around. I've wrapped it up as much as I can, and hopefully that'll work. If you have a better solution, please let me know down in the comments down below. I imagine it's just gonna be a case of making sure it's bound really tightly, but maybe there's some other better solution out there. Yeah, do let me know. And I've also found this really portable little duct tape, which is great. So I might pop that in my bag just for if there's any repairs I need to do. Kind of cool. I bought a whole extra bunch of stuff. So I bought my macro tubes. Obviously you need macro for the deer that are not here anyway. I've got in here, I've got a whole bunch of batteries, got my big batteries. I've got microphone receivers and the microphone as well. And then I've got my monitor in there as well, which is great. So stuff I don't want to move around, and then extra stuff in this one, which is great. In the front pocket, I've managed to put a whole bunch of wires that I'd need for, you know, the various monitors, which is nice. And I've got this whole extra pocket which has nothing in it at the moment, but you know, should I ever want to use it for, I don't know, maybe a rain cover could go in that, which would be quite good. On top of that, we've obviously got our spare pocket as well. So here I've got that piece of black plastic for the extra protection that I talked about, and again, plenty of room if I wanted to put a laptop or anything like that into there. So yeah, all in all, held up really well, which is great. So what about the cost of all this? Well, I was going through of what I've spent on Amazon. The bag was 30 quid and all the extra stuff, so the foam, the plastic and the Velcro came overall to about 60 quid. So our budget obviously was 50 quid, so maybe we didn't hit our budget, but I've got so much left over. I've got so much of that plastic, like ridiculous amounts. If you want any, let me know down in the comments down below. I will never send it, but it'll be funny. But I think from all that extras, I'll actually be able to make more dividers if I ever want to replace anything. So maybe if you thought about it as like 50 quid's worth of value, then yeah, maybe we hit the target. I'll leave that decision up to you, whether you think we, you know, hit the target of that 50 quid or whether I went over budget. Either way, for me, I am dead happy with this, and I think this is going to last me a very long time. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll catch you in the next one.